Randall Kirk was formerly the CEO and is now the chairman of Precigen. He has a net worth of 1.4 billion USD according to Forbes, and has a 10% stake in Precigen as well. And he's amassed his fortune because he has a track record of building out pharmaceutical companies from discovery stage when they have no treatments, all the way to having therapies and treatments approved by the FDA that are then brought to market. For example, he founded and became chairman of the board of New River Pharmaceuticals, which was sold to Shear PLC in 2007 for 2.6 billion. He also served as a member of the board for Skios before its acquisition by Johnson & Johnson for 2.4 billion. And he was also on the board of directors for Clinical Data prior to its acquisition by Forest Laboratories for 1.2 billion. And so one of my investment strategies is to align with highly skilled individuals with a proven track record of success in the past, or people that have amassed fortunes through very particular industry. And as you can see, Randall Kirk fits this bill, and it's why he's kind of been brought to my attention. And so like I was saying, he's amassed a fortune of 1.4 billion through building out pharmaceutical companies from discovery stage when they have no therapies, no treatments, all the way to having a portfolio of treatments which they sell to the marketplace. And it's when they do that that they gain value, because they have clear products that they can sell. And it's typically when larger pharmaceutical companies will come in and buy them out, as has happened previously with Randall Kirk. And this is exactly what he's doing with Precigen. And so if you look at the pipeline on their website, they have 4 treatments currently in phase 2. When they hit phase 3, that means that they've been approved by the FDA. And once they've been approved by the FDA, it means they're ready to be marketed and to be sold to the public. And so as you can see, a lot of the, if you like, hard work has already been done. You know, the discovery, the preclinical, the phase 1 and 2, you know, and so pretty much, you know, with these 4 treatments, they're pretty much in the final stage. And one of the patterns I've noticed in the past is with another stock called Immunity Bio. I've made other videos on them, and Patrick Soon-Shiong, where I've invested in, kind of at this similar stage, when they're in phase 2, when they're a little bit out of favor or unpopular, and making entries at in and around $1, only for the price to kind of 5x with Immunity Bio as soon as they announced that they'd had their first therapy, or one of their first therapies, approved by the FDA. And so over the last few days, you can see that Precigen has been trading just above $1 and just under $1 as well. And it actually achieved some pretty severe declines relatively recently, in and around 20%, I think, off the top of my head. And this is mainly to do with a few problems that they've been experiencing at the moment. And the way I look at things is, when there are problems, there is a level of opportunity. You know, they are experiencing a worsening financial position. You know, they've posted a net loss for Q2 of 2024 of 58.8 million from 20.3 million at the same period this time last year, in Q2 2023. And as you can see here as well, the company has reported a significant drop in revenues, 59% lower in Q2 2024, and 51% down for the first half of 2024 as well. And so they've gone to the market, diluted shareholders, in order to raise a further 31.4 million. They've also had to make the strategic decision to cut back on their ActoBio subsidiary, which has resulted in a write-down of around 32 million, I think, off the top of my head. And there have also been severance costs related to a reduction of workforce by 20%. And so all of these moves have been taken in order to reallocate resources, so reallocate all of the finances that they've raised at the market, and also through the cutbacks they've made, into the development of PRGN 2012, which you can see. So basically their main area of focus right now is to focus purely on getting this treatment to stage 3 so that it can go to market. Now, one of the key things that I do is, when I'm investing, is I'm tracking billionaires. You know, in this case, I'm tracking Randall Kirk's behavior. And what I spotted, which is where I kind of judge the opportunity to be, is around Randall Kirk actually acquiring shares, secretly acquiring shares, in 2 periods. You can see from this SEC form that he bought almost 97,000 shares in December at an average price of 1.4, and that was for a total value of 136,000 USD. He's then since gone to the market on the 9th of August, so just last week, and acquired an additional 23,500 additional shares in Precigen, which you can see from this SEC form as well. And this was at the time where Precigen came to market. So this is when they diluted shareholders, allocated more shares to the market. And I think that this was a strategic decision by Randall Kirk to go to market to raise capital, but at the same time, he's injected a whole lot of funding into the company. He's diluted shareholders whilst also acquiring shares at the very same time. And so, like I said at the very beginning of this video, one of my investment strategies is to kind of track billionaires, look at millionaires, people with a proven track record of success in the past, people who have amassed a substantial amount of wealth through very particular industries, and tracking their behavior, because it's through their behavior that you can kind of almost identify or deduce how they're making their money. A lot of millionaires and billionaires, fundamentally, they have access to information that you and I do not have access to. They're having conversations with other people that you and I, in powerful positions that you and I do not have access to. But the way that I'm looking at things is that I'm putting my money, I'm aligning with Randall Kirk. I have a level of faith in his decision making. I have a level of faith based on his proven track record of the past of being able to build wealth for himself. And so aligning my money, with his money, buying up shares and going into a partnership, if you like, with him. And then on the back of that, looking at this pipeline. This pipeline right here is almost an indication of their strategy moving forward. They're focusing on this top treatment at the moment, the pgen 2012, but at the same time, of course, at the moment they've put a couple on hold, but the other ones, the pgen 29, these two here, and the one at the very bottom, the AG019, these are still in development. And like I've said previously, it's like once these get to phase 3, this is when this company almost becomes a little bit more recognized for having treatments that have been approved by the FDA. It's when they become a little bit more certified, if you like. And it's at that point that perhaps another pharma company may come in and buy them up. And so I've acquired shares in Precigen at 2 stages. I bought some, I can't quite remember when, but it was some time ago. I bought about 7,000 shares. And more recently, I bought some kind of last week at, I can't remember the price, but generally speaking, I hold 12,000 shares of Precigen now, and I got them at a mean price of 1.04. And again, like I've said, I'm holding on because I have faith in Randall Kirk, and I'm holding on because I'm looking at this pipeline, I'm looking at the things that the treatments that they're developing with view of, what value that these shares may hold once they've got 3, 4 or 5 treatments developed and approved by the FDA. And so my strategy with Precigen could be one of 3, very much depends what else is going on in the market, what other opportunities I might find. But generally speaking, I'm going to hold on until they have this portfolio of treatments developed. I estimate that the price of the share will probably be sold, when it's acquired by another company. If it's acquired by another company, maybe in the region of $40. It could be 35, it could be 60. And then at that point, I will kind of reevaluate things. It may be that I sell part of my holding to reallocate it to another early stage company that I spot. It could be that I keep on holding, depending on what the pharmaceutical company is that acquires them, are there dividends, those kind of things. But naturally, what I'll do is I'll just keep you posted on this YouTube channel about what I'm doing, what's happening with Precigen, what's happening with the other stocks that I'm tracking, and just kind of let you know a little bit more about my strategy as things develop and as I spot more opportunities. But look, thanks very much for watching. Have a great day and see you in the next one. All the best.